Every year, after the rice harvest ends, something strange happens. Millions of farmers work tirelessly for months. They prepare the land. They plant the seeds. They battle pests. They pray for rain. They wait patiently for harvest season. Then finally, they collect the rice. The crop they've been waiting for. The crop that feeds billions of people around the world. But once the grain is removed, something else is left behind. Huge mountains of rice straw. And for generations, most people have treated it the same way. Burn it. Dump it. Forget about it. To them, it was nothing more than waste. Worthless. Useless. A problem that needed to disappear. But what if they've been wrong this entire time? What if one of the biggest fortunes in agriculture has been hiding in plain sight? Because while millions of farmers were setting their rice straw on fire, one man was secretly collecting it. People laughed. People mocked him. People called him crazy. Yet year after year, he kept gathering more. And while everyone else watched smoke rise into the sky, he watched money pile up on the ground. This is the incredible story of how one man turned something farmers threw away for decades into a multi-million-dollar empire. And by the end of this story, you'll never look at rice straw the same way again. The village had a routine. Every harvest season looked exactly the same. Farmers harvested their rice. The grain went into bags. The straw remained behind. Then came the burning. Fields covered in smoke. Ash floating through the air. Piles of straw disappearing within hours. Nobody questioned it. Nobody challenged it. After all, that's what their fathers did, and their grandfathers before them. If everyone was burning rice straw, it must be useless. At least that's what they believed. But there was one young farmer who wasn't convinced. Every time he saw those enormous piles of straw, one question kept returning to his mind. If this has no value, why is there so much of it? Nature doesn't produce waste. Nature produces resources. And the more he thought about it, the less sense it made. Year after year, entire mountains of material were being destroyed. What if people were throwing away something important? What if everyone had missed something? That question became an obsession. And obsessions have a way of changing lives. One season, instead of burning his rice straw, he stacked it. People noticed immediately. His neighbors laughed. "What are you doing? Planning to build a house out of garbage?" Others joined in. "Maybe he's gone crazy. Maybe the heat got to him." The jokes spread quickly. Every day, people walked past his growing pile. Every day, the laughter continued. Yet he didn't stop. He kept collecting, kept stacking, kept storing. Soon his yard looked more like a straw mountain than a farm. And to everyone watching, it looked ridiculous. But what they didn't know was that he wasn't collecting waste. He was collecting possibilities. He simply hadn't discovered which possibility would work best. Yet, one day, while researching agricultural practices, he came across something fascinating. Rice straw could be used to grow mushrooms. At first, he could hardly believe it. The same straw everyone burned could actually become a growing medium, a resource, a product, an income source. He decided to try. His first attempt wasn't perfect. Mistakes happened. Some crops failed. Some batches were ruined. Money was lost. Most people would have quit, especially with the entire village watching and waiting for failure. But failure wasn't enough to stop him, because even through the mistakes, he saw potential. The mushrooms that succeeded sold quickly. Demand was strong. Customers wanted more. For the first time, rice straw was producing income, real income. And suddenly, the impossible didn't seem impossible anymore. The more he learned, the more shocked he became. Rice straw wasn't just useful for mushrooms. It could become animal feed. It could become organic fertilizer. It could become fuel. It could become paper. It could become packaging material. It could become building boards. It could even be used in renewable energy production. The deeper he looked, the bigger the opportunity became. He realized something most people never understood. The value wasn't in the straw itself. The value was in what the straw could become. That single realization transformed everything. Because once you stop seeing a product for what it is and start seeing what it can become, entire industries appear. The farmer started small, very small. He processed straw into organic products. He sold them locally. The profits weren't huge, but they were growing. Then he expanded. More straw, more customers, more products. Each season his operation became larger. People noticed. The same neighbors who once laughed began asking questions. "What exactly are you doing? Who's buying all this? Why are trucks coming to your farm?" At first, they thought it was luck. Then they thought it was temporary. Eventually, they realized something much bigger was happening. The man they mocked was building a business. And that business wasn't shrinking. It was growing. Fast. Then came the breakthrough. A large buyer discovered his products. What started as small orders became large contracts. Large contracts became long-term agreements. Long-term agreements became serious money. For the first time in his life, demand exceeded supply. He couldn't process straw fast enough. He couldn't hire workers fast enough. He couldn't expand fast enough. The business exploded. What once looked like piles of worthless waste had become one of the most valuable resources in his operation. The transformation was unbelievable, but it was only the beginning. Remember those neighbors? The ones who laughed? The ones who called him crazy? Something interesting happened. They stopped laughing. In fact, many became curious, then concerned, then jealous. Because while they continued selling only rice grain, this farmer was making money from the grain and the leftovers. He was earning from two products instead of one. Suddenly, rice straw wasn't garbage anymore. Suddenly, everyone wanted it. The same material nobody wanted years earlier was now being collected, stored, and sold. The market had changed. But the real difference wasn't the market. The real difference was vision. He saw value before everyone else did. Most people think wealth comes from discovering something new. But often, wealth comes from seeing something old differently. The rice straw had always been there. The opportunity had always existed. Nothing magical appeared. Nothing extraordinary fell from the sky. The resource was sitting in plain sight. The difference was perspective. While others saw waste, he saw potential. While others saw problems, he saw opportunities. While others followed tradition, he asked questions. And those questions changed everything. Today, countless opportunities are hidden in places people ignore. In agriculture, in business, in technology, in everyday life. The next big opportunity may not look valuable. It may not look exciting. People may laugh at it. People may ignore it. People may call it useless. But remember this story. For decades, farmers burned rice straw without a second thought. They watched fortunes go up in smoke. Then one man looked at the exact same pile and saw something different. He saw possibility. He saw value. He saw future. And because he was willing to see what others couldn't, he turned something worthless into millions. The question is, what opportunities are hiding in plain sight around you right now? And more importantly, will you notice them before everyone else does?